Hello everyone, my name is Deepak. I'm the lecturer at Department of ASH, IMT College of Polytechnic, Greater Noida. My topic for today's lecture is complexity of human behavior in Mohan Rakesh's writings. As you can see that Mohan Rakesh is born in 1925 and died in 1972, though quite an early death, but at the same time, he's been considered as a significant novelist, playwright, and one of the most prominent short story writers as in terms of who is providing very different sort of story, which is being like which made him a part of the Nayi Kahani movement along with Nirmal Verma as one of the pioneers of Nayi Kahani movement, where the entire world had been delving into this very conception of how this post-independence India is going to deal with the certain circumstances as in terms of the political turmoil that had been existent and the partition had been the main cause behind the turmoil of the people, while on the other hand these writers had been actually delving into the middle class, the kind of anxieties that the middle class is going through, how the different sexes are looking for jobs and different opportunities, and those things are not existent in the world out there. So Mohan Rakesh and Nirmal Verma, Kamleshwar, Dudnath Singh, all these writers came to rescue as in terms of delving into the certain themes. But what I could, realize while reading his text, and one of his significant plays you must have read, Ashad Ka Ek Din, is being considered as significant contribution to the literary world, as you know. Still, this very thing that I would like to touch upon in this today's lecture is the short stories that is being written by this writer, where he's those three to 10-page short story is being delving into so deep emotions that deep turmoil that the human beings are going through. In that sense, Mohan Rakesh is being considered as one of the most prominent writers. Talking about his themes, first theme, he's being delving into the problems faced by the middle class, as I had mentioned, how the middle class is being going through numerous problems that were actually existent as in terms of the like all the other writers. If we talk about the contemporaries of Mohan Rakesh, they might be writing about the partition, the impact of partition on us, and the how the people had been going through in this post-independent world. But at the same time, the post-independent world, those writers never touched upon the themes like the middle class. What is the very condition of the middle class? The middle class was going through a very sense of uh, what I should say, like in terms of how they would be delving into this new world altogether, how to find a place of themselves, how to identify themselves with the new world, the new sort of conditions that have emerged among the people. So this had happened because of the rapid urbanizing and industrializing India, where until now the women who had been only living in the space of the home like space, where she's only supposed to perform certain household chores and she's not supposed to move outside of the family binary. But at the same time, this new world was demanding something completely different, where woman is anyway supposed to step outside of the home, and she was supposed to become a part of Baire, which means the world outside. And that's why there had been a constant tussle that had been existent between the kind of values to be upholding, or to step out of the world and step outside in the world and try to find new opportunities, new things for themselves. So in that sense, those are very beautiful themes that this prominent writer is being touching upon. um, so in one of the short stories, as I could see, Fulad Ka Akash, there is a complete gender role reversal that can be seen. So there is a woman named Meera who is married off to a person named Ravi. Meera had been a absolutely confident person until now, while being a part of college, because she used to participate in all the cultural activities, all sorts of, things that would be events that would be happening in the college. But at the same time, once she got married off, she is grappling with her circumstances so much so that she is unable to come to terms with the kind of circumstances that she is going through. She's all the time quite afraid of the fact what her husband is going to say, uh, for the things that she is performing at home, whether she should enter the space that her husband owns. So in that case, what can be seen is that's a complete demarcation as in terms of how to find an identity of her own. And that's why that that makes her position as completely, hearsay, and she is unable to come to terms with her circumstances in that sense. This can be seen through one of the metaphors as it is being shown in Folad Ka Akash, where, while entering her husband's room, she's looking at all the things that are existent inside the room, but at the same time, she's, quite afraid of the fact, what if in case she might touch something and she might break something. So this very, fear that is existent within the mind of a very confident woman is does actually talk about this tussle, this dilemma, this very uh, you know struggling condition that the woman is going through. I'm, actually touching upon in that sense. So Mohan Rakesh is, in one form or the other still alive among us, because those conditions are not gone until now. Those are still existent among us. The next thing that I would like to touch upon is conception of beauty in Miss Pal, another short story, and that's one of my favorite short stories, I would say. The conception of beauty, if we talk about, it's like, we as a social being, we are always being ruled by, governed by how the society wants us to be a certain kind. You are required to be fair enough. You are required to have certain sort of eyes, certain sort of lips. We tend to follow the Hollywood celebrities. We try to imitate someone, try to be just the same sort of person how a society would want you to be. But in the same, in the same scenario, one needs to observe how it becomes absolutely ruthless through the societal norms that, one is supposed to mold himself or herself completely, the according to the needs of the society, what the society actually desires, demands for. And what we can see is that, if someone is not fitting into this conception of beauty, one is not fair, not tall, not good looking, etc., so those things are going to be condemned by the society in one form or the other. So in one form or the other, the conception of beauty operates, uh, you know the entire life. It is going to govern the entire life that we are going to. So how a man or a woman is supposed to be, and I'm reminded of one of the beautiful quotations from William Shakespeare's Hamlet, William Shakespeare's play Hamlet, where he says, to be or not to be, this dilemma, whether to be just according to the needs of the society or to be ones of its own kind, actually needs to be, discovered and to be delved upon. And over here, what needs to be done is, one needs to find quite a balance as in terms of dealing with those things. This is a beautiful, instance from this short story that I'm talking about, Miss Pal, where she is a fat woman, not so good looking according to the societal norms, and therefore it has become almost impossible for her to stay inside her office, or visiting her office all over again, because she is being traumatized. She is being, all the time bullied by her colleagues, making her feel, so bad about her looks, about her walk, about her, demeanor, the kind of person she is. So she has become, troubled so much so that she has to step out of this societal hole, this very societal hole that is holding over her. She's having a, she's almost feeling like a trapped person, and who is willing to go out of this space altogether. And therefore she decides that I need to step out of this. I need to step out of this space, the office like space, and I need to find a space of my own. And therefore she visits an isolated space in Kullu. When she visits Kullu, a very interesting thing happens out there, where she is not merely looked up, upon in a condemning manner by the adults or by the grown-ups, but even the children are, behaving in such a, I should say, harsh manner or ruthless manner, where she says that, okay, ये देखो ये जा रहा है, ये लड़का है या लड़की है, पीछे से देख के तो लग रहा है कि लड़की है, नहीं, शायद लड़का है. So those things actually does talk about, how a person is supposed to be uh, according to the societal norms, so much so that if one is not fitting into those this conception of beauty, it becomes extremely problematic. It becomes, really difficult for a human being to survive in those circumstances. um, Continuing with the same thing, and at the same time I'm associating with the same thing in terms of how psychology looks at it. And Sigmund Freud, being the father of psychology, does talk about the three aspects of looking at a human's mind, where the id is uh, the primitive and instinctual part of mind that contains sexual and aggressive drives and hidden memories, which would like to behave the way he or she is willing to behave. Whatsoever is your desire, no matter what the society is going to talk about it, it is the space, it is this that particular part of mind where it won't listen to anything whatsoever the society wants you to be. It would behave the way it wants to behave. While on the other hand, there is super ego, which actually governs the mind, the id, that whatever you are doing, you are required to be morally correct. You need to behave, quote unquote. And the ego is the space which actually connects both id and the superego. And that's the very conception that one needs to see as in terms of delving into the Mohan Rakesh's writings, where um, all the humans, all the characters of Mohan Rakesh are going through or grappling with the kind of human conditions. And those are the very instances of human predicaments that actually makes it quite difficult for a human being to survive in this societal whole. And therefore, those writings are a really significant one by Mohan Rakesh. I won't say these are the suggestions or advices from me in terms of dealing with the complex behavior, or but these can be of some help to my friends and to all of you. So in terms of how to deal with these humans' complex behavior. So what you can do is you can talk about your issues, including kind of behavior and how are you feeling about you, what to do about it. And you can consult someone. Maybe it can be a friend, it can be a close association. So anyone, if you could talk about it. One might feel that talking about it might you know uh, reveal all the secrets one would like to keep within, while but at the same time it can turn out to be actually beneficial. It can turn out to be really good for your mental health. Second point I would like to talk about, which is a significant one, writing a journal, which is actually phenomenal in terms of reducing your stress and anxiety. It makes you even more confident, honest, and at the same time, how you would feel after the journal. As you can see that there might be challenging situations, but if you put pen on the paper, then what you can see is those negative thoughts, those entangled thoughts would feel or find some resolve in order to come out of those negative thoughts, those problems, because journal writing can actually help you significantly. Last but not the least, and most important, if you are going through like actual mental health problems, really, if something is making you feel quite depressive or full of stress, then what you can do is you can consult with your issues with a mental health professional. That might help you in self discovery, management of emotions, and that might channelize your entangled thoughts that are creating a loop over your head, over and over. And it can it can actually provide you some sort of mental peace within. So through this, I would like to thank everyone whosoever have listened to me. And I hope that you will all have a very good mental health throughout the year. Thank you.